Today, we are diving into a question that has honestly puzzled people for centuries. It's a paradox, hiding right in plain sight that gets to the very heart of understanding God's will. So here's the puzzle. On one hand, the Bible says God's will is totally sovereign, that nothing can stand in its way. But then you look around and, well, we see people resisting God's commands literally every single day. So what's the deal? Is God's will this unstoppable force, or is it something we can just choose to ignore? The answer, you might be surprised to hear, is both. And the key to unlocking this whole thing isn't some super complex philosophical argument. Nope. It's actually all about language. A really crucial distinction in the original Greek that kind of gets lost when we translate it into English. That's right. Where we just see the single word will, the original writers of the New Testament actually used two different words for two very different ideas, Boulema and Thelema. And trust me, understanding these two words is the key that unlocks this entire mystery.
All right, let's start with the first one. This is the big one. It represents God's absolute sovereign will. This is Boulema.
The best way to think about Boulema is as God's ultimate blueprint for all of history. It's his fixed, unchangeable plan. And this isn't just a wish or a hope. This is the guaranteed final outcome. It's the grand story that will happen no matter what. You know, when the Apostle Paul asks this really powerful rhetorical question in the book of Romans, the Greek word he's using there for will is boulema, and the implied answer is just hanging in the air. Nobody, no one can resist this kind of will. It's completely unstoppable. So Boulema is God's behind-the-scenes plan. It's so big, so all-encompassing that it even weaves human rebellion right into its design. Every single action, whether it's meant to help or hinder, ultimately ends up serving this predetermined final result. Okay, so if Boulema is the unstoppable master plan, what about the will that people clearly resist all the time? Well, for that we need our second Greek word, Thelema. Dilemma is a totally different thing. This is about God's revealed will, his commands, his desires, his moral instructions for all of us. It's what God wishes we would do, what pleases him, like the command to love your neighbor or not to steal. When Jesus talks about wanting to gather the children of Jerusalem like a hen gathers her chicks, but they were unwilling, he's describing dilemma. It's a genuine desire from God that, right in that moment, was being resisted by human choice. And this is where our choices really come into play. Every single time someone sins, they are actively pushing back against God's dilemma, his revealed wish for how we should live our lives. This is the will that can be, and absolutely is, disobeyed every single day. So to make this crystal clear, let's use an analogy. Think of it like this. With Boulema, God is acting as the grand architect.